Good morning. I just got done dropping the boys off at school. Of course, they're excited. It's Friday, and today is the last day of end of grade or EOG testing, so they're really excited. One more week of school to go. We have year-round school here, in for 9 weeks, out for 4, so they're on a track schedule this year, so that's why they're getting out so late. But anyway, it's Friday. Somehow I feel like I'm still trying to wake up and I could use a second cup of coffee right now. I mean, look at that weather out there again today. It's not currently raining, but it's just wet and gray and not looking like it's 8 o'clock in the morning. There's no sun. So I'm pulled over at my normal morning stop after dropping them off, and I played Pokemon Go, but don't tell anybody. So, gotta catch that daily Pokestop and at least one Pokemon to keep my streak going. So, anyway, don't have a lot of exciting plans today, but I'm sure, as I usually do, that I'll fill the day with a lot of stuff anyway. I often take bird pictures here in the morning with my long lens, but it's been so rainy and cloudy this week. The lighting's just horrible for pictures. And the green heron pair that I was monitoring here, I haven't seen them this week either, so boo. It's not normal for me to go for an entire week without getting out my bigger camera. Missing the opportunity to take good pictures this morning. It's pretty out there though. So in Monday's video, near the end, I told you that we were having a problem with the car not locking up when we got out of it and not shutting down. And that problem mysteriously went away overnight, Monday night, while we charged the car. I woke up Tuesday morning and she was behaving properly again. And worked fine all the way Tuesday and all the way Wednesday. And then yesterday morning, Thursday morning, she started acting up again. This door stopped closing. She stopped shutting down properly. So we were wondering maybe if we charged overnight Thursday night, if Friday morning we got up and she'd be back to working correctly. So she auto-presented to Don when he backed her out of the garage for me this morning, and I'm getting ready to go run some errands in Fuquay Wal-Mart. And I'm interested to see here if she's going to lock up properly or if I'm going to have to get out the key fob and lock her up. So we'll see. So I'm out of the car and I'm walking away, and let's see what she does. Yep, she's back to working again all right this morning. So the problem that we're having, whatever it is intermittent. And as I walk away, we should see the mirrors also fold up. Yep, the mirror's closed. So if the door closes and the mirrors fold in, I know we're good to go until I get back to the car. So whatever problem we're having, it's intermittent. So let's go shop at Wally World. Well, I'm in luck. This is what I came in for this morning, and they have it. Of course, I also had to throw a couple other things in the cart. The flowers are looking quite lovely in the Wal-Mart Garden Center this morning. No butterflies though. Otherwise I might have to get out my camera and actually start taking pictures. Very pretty. So I went home after my little shop at Walmart, and now Don and I are on our way back up to Main Street to have a little snack at Stick Boy Bakery this morning. Yum, yum. Right, Donnie?
Yep.
I thought I'd let him drive.
Yep.
Donnie, what what do you want this morning?
Oh, you should see what I want. I'm gonna get the cream cheese cinnamon roll.
Yeah, this delicious goodie right here. Choices, choices, choices. Lots of choices. Maybe I want the cinnamon roll that has just a little less frosting. So Don's going to demonstrate the car automatically parallel parking itself. As he comes down the street under 15 miles an hour, a tiny P should show up on the dash LCD, indicating that the car has found an acceptable parking spot. Once it does that, he'll brake the car and put it into reverse, and the car should attempt the parallel park. Now, it pops up a screen and tells you to click start, so you're able to make sure that there's no other cars coming or people in your way. So you have to tell it that you're really sure you're ready to start the parking. This is a little bit of an unfortunate spot here where the curb has an extra drop-off, but the car handled the extra drop-off just fine. Don has not done any manipulations of the steering wheel, and when it's done with the parking, it pops up the little door screen to let your passengers out. Don's giving me a thumbs up. Yay! Now, parallel parking is something that I haven't attempted since I got my driver's license when I was 16. We had to do that to pass the test. Usually if I drive down Main Street Fuquay and there's a parallel spot, I just go right on by and keep circling, or we walk a little farther till I can find a regular perpendicular spot. But I definitely would consider using this function now to park the car out on the street. We're looking for a place to try to demonstrate the automatic parallel parking. And there's a lot of glare out here today, so I'm struggling to get the screen where you guys can see it, but I'll do the best I can. So as we come up here, there's a white car and a blue car, and there's a space for us to park in between. So we're actually now beside the blue car, and see, there's the little P. But if I turn my screen around to the side, you'll see that we're like really up past beside the blue car. Like you've really got to sort of go past the spot you want. And then, so now Don's going to put it into reverse. And when he does that, this screen is going to pop up where he has to say, yes, you've seen the spot and I agree, I want to park. You can say start, or you could click not this time. Don's hands are not on the wheel. He's not doing anything. His feet aren't on any pedals. And the car has pulled us into the spot. Don's still not touching anything. It's straightening out the wheel, going forward just a little bit. It likes us to be right smack dab in the center of that spot. And it has now popped up the door screen, which it does because it's put us into park. So that's really awesome, and you can see the blue car in front of us, and maybe you can see the white car out there behind us, and we're good to go. Way cool, huh, Donnie?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited about giving it a try.
Yep. Yeah, now that I've self-parallel parked, let the car self-parallel park a couple times, I've sort of got the feel for it. The first thing is you do have to drive relatively slow. They say below 15 miles an hour, which is not a problem. I was probably doing 5 or 6 walking speed. And I would say the other thing, the little P pops up, and it probably pops up a little later than you would expect. In other words, I would have thought it would have popped up 5 feet before it popped up. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't get discouraged that, you know, you see the parking place and the car hasn't put the little P up. You know, once I put the P up, you know, I just simply stopped, and it put the car in reverse, and it immediately popped up the screen to asking if I wanted to auto park, and showed the parking place on the screen, and I clicked yes, and it says, okay, well, take your foot off the brake, and I did. And then it started doing its thing, and it did its thing beautifully. But now here's the thing that I didn't learn until the second or third time, and that is just completely keep your hands off of the wheel, and it actually centers the car, puts it in park, and then pops up the door thing. Basically, it pretty much gets ready for you to exit the car. You don't have to put it in park or do anything. It does all that to finish up the parking, which I thought was pretty cool.
Way cool. Super cool.
I would say that parallel auto park was easier than one would expect. I mean, you know, it was sort of after I read the little instructions and just did it once, it was very intuitive. I mean, how else would one find a parking place other than drive slowly by it?
See, the next time we come to Stick Boy, we can park there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it means no more missed great parking spaces, because I just am not able to do the parallel parking on my own.
Right, and I would say the only thing to be cognizant of is the traffic coming up. In other words, just like if you were really parallel parked, before you kick off push the button that says yes, do
the start button.
Right, or at least if you push the button before you take your foot off the brake, which really is what causes it to start auto parking. Look in your rear view mirror and make sure that somebody hasn't climbed up on your bumper. Maybe next time I'll try it with the blinker. Like, I'll turn my blinker on, put it in reverse. Maybe that which would traditionally be how one would do it. Your backup lights come on, your blinkers on. A person who approaches you would say, oh, well, there looks like there's a parking place. He's got his blinker on and the backup lights on. I think he's going to back into that place. So I'm going to assume that that's how one would normally do that. So I'll give that a shot next time.
Yeah, Don has the little chime on to tell him he's going 5 over the speed limit, which is something we absolutely don't want to do on Main Street.
Right.
You're going to enable that for me, right?
Right.
Yeah, we don't want any tickets in the Model X.
No. Yeah, I would say I had no concerns whatsoever about the self-park hitting the cars. I did have a moderate amount of concern about it hitting the curb. These rims are these 20-inch rims on this thing. You know, I don't want to get them all scraped up with curb rash, and that was my only concern. And I was very pleased to see in all 3 times that it parked, it was at least 8 to 10 inches away from the curb, which was a safe margin to avoid something like curb rash. So I don't know how it saw the curb. Maybe it was strictly using where the other cars were, and they happened to be parked you know, a foot off the curb. Possibly if they would have been rubbed up against the curb, it might have actually been a little closer. I don't know exactly how it saw the curb.
But I do think that was a good test case there, because not only you know, the road there dipped down a little bit even toward the curb,
That's
making
right.
curb rash even more likely than normal, and we were still a safe distance away. So it seemed to, in this case at least, we can say it did what we wanted it to do and was careful with the rims.
Right.
Yeah, for me, since I'm a little bit more of a control freak, I have to keep on selling myself that the car is smarter than me and that it won't hit anything.
Right.
I mean, it's a big, to me, it's a big deal to give up control to the car. even though I'm comfortable in autopilot, I guess because my hands are technically on the wheel and I can take over any time, I'm comfortable in that situation. But I'm a little less comfortable with watching the car just do everything for me. So I'll have to work on trust. Ruby and I, we're bonding right now, and we're you know, I'm gaining trust, but not quite there yet.
Another thing I would say is that it's very quick. I may have been slow pushing the buttons, but once you say yes, auto park, and you take your foot off the brake, there's no delay. It's not going to wait and think about it like and judge things. It's already decided whatever it's going to do, and so it starts executing immediately. I would actually say I had a concern that it would be so slow that other drivers would be annoyed at me, but I would actually say it parked the car faster than I did.
So if I need something from the garage, this is what I have waiting on me. Hey, Tuxie. Hey, bud. Hi. Hi, buddy. Oh, yeah, he says don't go to the garage. And not stuff to give the Tuxie a pet. Yep. Hey, Gray. Gray's just a little more shy, but she likes her pets just as much as Tux does. Hey, baby girl. How are you? How are you? Oh, yeah. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Hey, Tux. Oh, yeah. Tuxie. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. He's such a good boy. Him is such a good boy. Oh, yes. And then, there's Panther. Hey, buddy. How are you? And Panther is our shyest child. He just likes little tiny pets. He's a good boy. All right, guys. I'm sure I'll be back out in a little while, but until then, keep napping.